Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to another episode of My Take with Rosh Ya'acob. I am Rosh Ya'acob, Rabbi of Gethsemane Spiritual Temple Congregation. And on this show, we normally deal with hot topics, and I give you a Torah perspective. But every Shabbat, non-stop, every Shabbat, we will be on here giving you the Torah vitamin A. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to everyone in the building. Shabbat Shalom, Pastor. Shabbat Shalom, Makoti, Sister Natasha in the building. Shabbat Shalom to you. Of course, Shabbat Shalom, the heart for serving. Always got all the information for the chat right up there for you. If you want to log in to any of our services, it is in the chat. And normally I will tell you that, yes, Bible study is one of those things where you actually will get to talk to me. And as you see in the chat, it's at 7:30. However, this Wednesday, we will not be having Bible study. But after that, we're going to be right back in it. So please, 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 all the information is up there. If you want to talk, if you got questions, we got answers. Whatever it is that you want to deal with, it is right there for you. Also want to give a Shabbat Shalom out to my brother, Moray Catriel, always in the building doing what he does as well, keeping a convo going in the chat, giving y'all things to think about as we discuss the things we want to discuss in the Torah. So, got a good team behind me. Of course, Pastor, everybody in the building, Sister Anne Marie, Sister Tara, all y'all in the building. Thank all of y'all today for logging in. And anybody else in the building that I can't see, I only can see what you guys say. So if y'all aren't saying anything, then I'm not going to see it. I only can see what you guys are saying. So I don't know that you're here unless you actually say something. Basically is what I'm saying. Anyway, like I said, you always can come back on a replay and see everything, and we will talk about all that stuff from there. All right, so let's get into this because I know I'm running behind. My computer decided it wasn't going to work today, and I was really, really irritated. But I said, being irritated is not going to do anything. Let me just hold my peace and keep it moving. All right, so let me go to what we're going to be talking about today. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Brother Morris in the building from the next session. Shabbat Shalom to you, Aki. This thing is slowly updating because I'm not seeing... Oh, yeah, I see it now. I see it. Okay, I'm about to say I'm not seeing everything. All right. For some reason, I seen Pastor pop up on it, but I didn't see it in the... Shoftim means judges, and is dealing with the judges. This is the law where it talks about judges and so forth. And also, oh yeah, I see. Hey, I see you up there now. Sister Anne-Marie, everybody, I see y'all now. For some reason, it wasn't popping up. I seen it disconnected and reconnected. So it's going to be one of them days. Minister Thomas, if y'all missed him on WFBR today, he was on WFBR. We normally team up with one of our sister congregations, First Philadelphia. And he, Minister Thomas was on there today, did an excellent job and showed the people exactly what it was all about, which is the Torah and doing what the Almighty wants you to do, because that's what the Mashiach told us to do. He said, keep the Torah. He said, keep my commandments, right? He said to do it. So he broke down a lot of good stuff up there. And one thing he said, he was talking about the technical difficulties, and I've had it firsthand thus far. Anyway. Yes, he was. All right, so anyway, we're going to get into this today. So as I told you guys, I know y'all see the picture up there. That is the 225th descendant of King David. The 225th descendant of King David, right? So if you understand what that means, if he is the 225th descendant of King David, then some will say he is the son of David. All right. And on top of that, he was anointed to be king. Now, you might say, well, why are we bigging him up like this? What's going on? I just want to point out history to you. It's for you to see why am I using this image for Shoftim. In Shoftim, it has a passage in it where it talks about kings, right? And it tells you what kings supposed to do, so forth and so on. I wanted to point this brother out because this was one of the changing points for everybody back in the days. I know it's a lot of long days for some of you guys. Some of y'all are youngins. But back in those days, right, we had this guy on this picture. He looked like a hippie. Y'all should know what I'm talking about, right? He looked like a hippie, had his hands out like this to you, had his yellow sun disc behind his head that we call a halo. I think Mike got to refresh because I see the bars moving, so I know it should be able to be heard out there. So he had his sun disc around his head, had his hands out like this, right? This person, also, you see him sitting at a table with all his people, and all of them was sitting there like they was in discussion at this long table with him in the middle. He had the sun disc with a halo behind his head again, and that was in all of our homes, right? That was in all of our homes and grandmother's homes, right? It was there. Let everybody know. We even remember the famous scene on Good Times when Michael put the black image up there, and the mother got mad and said he don't need no partners. And this I don't know what I seen first, the doctor, my mother, or this picture, right? And she went on and on and on praising this picture. And some of it is embedded in our minds. Like we got a lot of programs, if it were, that's been embedded in our minds that's hard to let go. That was one program that was hard for me to let go. It was hard to let that go, right? That's how he looked. That's how he was. I remember being in art class painting a picture, and my art teacher was so powerfully inspirational and opened up my eyes to a lot of things. But even though he opened up my mind to all kind of things about blackness and about our history and our culture, I was not willing to let that go. I argued with her. I said, that's him, right? Y'all should know what I'm talking about right now. Cesare Borgia. That's what we find out he is now, right? Glasses fogging up on me. Cesare Borgia. But at first, we thought that was him, right? That's how he looked. And all those people on those pictures, none of them look like us. Now, you might say, well, where you going with this? Lo and behold, this war breaks out between Mussolini and others. And they begin to talk about this black king of Ethiopia. This black king that was not just royalty, but he was a descendant from Israel. And they sing the glory with all the people around him, all the glory, all this stuff around this guy. And this is the guy. This right here. This is the guy right behind me that they saw. And something happened. People start saying, wait a minute, we always read the Bible and thought it had something to do with blackness and black people and this, that, other. But you telling us that a direct descendant from King David is black and he the king? And that changed a lot of stuff. A group came out of that called Rastafarians, right? Who start saying, we not looking at that white man no more. We looking at this brother right here. People begin to get new understandings of Mashiach. Mashiach don't mean savior. I know we say Messiah. That means savior. Messiah mean he going to save you. Mashiach don't mean savior. Spoiler alert. Mashiach means anointed. It means you are anointed. And it was specific offices you get anointed into, where they will pour the oil on you, right? They will literally just pour the oil on your head. It will run down to, it describes it when it says how the oil ran down Aharon's head, off his beard, and so forth, right? It describes it, I believe, in the book of Psalms. It talks about Aharon. So it lets us know how this anointing looks when you get anointed with the oil. Now, that's what Mashiach means, anointed one. In Greek, they took the anointed with the oil and they used this word called Christos, which means to be anointed with oil, right? Or to be smeared on with oil. So that was their closest word to Mashiach, was Christos. That's where the word Christ comes from. The word Christ comes from Christos. Now, it also gets you to thinking, because we get about thinking about Christos meaning oil and so forth. We used to have an oil a long time ago that was called Crisco. It comes from the same root word of Christos or Christ. It means the oil. Now, the thing with this is many people start saying, wait a minute, Israel was black. Wait a minute, there's something going on with this. You had a brother named Marcus Garvey that began to point to this brother back here and say, you see, they been lying to us. We the people the whole time. And he started this movement, trying to unite all Africa. And they got him out of here. The United States said, you gotta go. I'll get you out of here. Because the movement was too big, because he was uniting everybody. His ministry of music was a Hebrew, a black Hebrew. I cannot remember that brother name. Oh man, I can't remember that brother name. He is actually the one that helped pen. Watch this. The Black National Anthem. Uh-oh. It was a lot of stuff going on during those times. This history that's not taught in schools, or if it is taught in school, they want you to shut up and don't say nothing about it. But it's in books that's out there. You can get them right there in books. Right there waiting for you. But I want y'all to understand that this image of this man who believed in the Mashiach, he never said he was the Mashiach. He always made it be known he believed in the Mashiach. He followed the Mashiach. He never said he was the Mashiach, right? He never said he was the Mashiach, which is Yahshua, the Rebbe. He never said he was him. He said, I'm following him. But he's also anointed as king, right? So that's where they start looking at the term. Said, well, he Mashiach too, right? Not the Mashiach, but not the one that come to redeem us back and so forth and so on. But one where we can see that this is dealing with people that look like us. A lot of times we don't want to say that. We scared. It's why we gotta say that? Why we gotta talk about stuff? Because stuff like that has to be known. Again, we've been programmed from childhood up. Like I tell you what Florida ever said, I don't know what I see first. The doctor, my mother, or this picture. Not that picture right there, but a picture of the hippie guy. Cesare Borgia. And it's implanted up here. And some of y'all still to this day when y'all pray and y'all say in Yahshua's name, y'all not thinking about a brother, y'all thinking about the other. I like how I rhyme with that. Now, I won't get too far off with that. I just wanted to bring some light to that because this is when the change began to happen with people seeing it. And he said, Ethiopia will call out. You know, he was going to the prophecy, saying different stuff and pointing to this because this was a pivotal moment where people began to see that these people in the Bible aren't other people. These people in the Bible is talking about you. That's when they was able to see that. These people are talking about you. And we want to run away from that. Oh, anybody just want to party and have fun. Anyway, just wanted to let you guys know this. And when y'all see this image or the other image that I got from one of my little thumbnail notes is another picture of this brother, and I use that to point it out because I want people to be able to focus and understand that it was a pivotal change when this happened. And that pivotal change sparked a lot of these groups you see and people running around saying different things. Right? So just wanted to point that out to you guys. Let's get into... Oh, man. What is that? Here we go. I'm like, what happened? Let's get to the portion. We were talking about the portion. I know I gave that little introduction already. Was like 5 minutes late. Then I gave a little introduction. But let's go into this. So it's Shoftim. Shoftim or Shotarim, right? Judges and officers. Notice they said police officers. It was not police officers. Who translation is this? Is this the right translation? They said police officers. Oh my goodness. These officers was different than police officers. These officers was, yeah, they was different. It was sort of different. Number one, it wasn't like these cops today. They could shoot you, do all kind of crazy stuff to you and say it's in the right, they're right in the law and ain't nothing you can do about it. You just got to deal with it. No, that wasn't what these guys did, right? These guys was people that was sectioned off in areas to make sure. So you want to see why they put the similarity with police officers, right? These guys were sectioned off in the area to make sure people was keeping Torah. and they would look over different matters. And once they came to certain matters about certain things, then they will bring it up to the next set of judges. And then if that didn't go well, it will go up to the next set of judges, right? So I hate that they put that word police in there. So just to let you see, I know some of y'all might, hey, let's look at it right here. That word is doing a number on me. My brother's probably laughing like, yeah, we know it is. Yeah, it's doing a number. Like, what? Police officer? Where did he get that from? All right. Let's look at it right here. It just says officers, right? You shall appoint judges and officers in all your gates. So in all your towns and all your cities, you are to appoint these judges and these officers. The judges are the judge between the people to figure out what's going on, and the officers are to ensure that everything is going the way that it's supposed to go. Right, they will come in, make sure you're doing things the kosher way. Make sure this mitzvot is being applied correctly. They will come in and judge all those different areas, and if they find you not in accordance with what you're supposed to do, then they will take you to the judges. Right now, some of y'all might say, "Well, it still sounds like the police." Right? I hate that put the police up there. So some of y'all might say, well, it still sound like the police. Is a difference. The difference is that they're actually judging you based off the Torah, number one. And number two, they're coming to you to look at certain things to make sure stuff is right. So the closest thing to that will be what we see happening with the rabbis today. And Ashkenazi shows this in their communities, right, with the rabbis today, making sure everything is kosher. So if you got like a kosher restaurant or something like that, the rabbis will come and inspect your place. So it's sort of like an inspector. They will come and inspect your place. They will come and inspect your place to make sure that there are no violations of Torah law in place. Make sure that you are keeping kosher, right? And after they come and inspect your place, then they will give you their seal of approval saying, we approve this place is kosher, right? So they would come and do that. They would come and inspect different things. I remember a long time ago, I worked at the Pepsi Cola factory, and they was telling us how they would come in and they would look over the plant to make sure everything was right, that it wasn't nothing going against Torah in that specific area when it came to making a certain kind of soda. And then they will pray over it and bless it, and then you'll see that seal of approval on it, which would be the K inside the circle. Sometimes it'd be a U inside of the circle. Sometimes it's a P inside of a circle. It's all kind of symbols, and all the symbols mean different stuff, but it's that stamp of approval that this place is kosher, that you can drink this, you can go here, you can do this, right? So that's sort of what these officers would do. They wasn't officers where you would call them and say, hey man, he did this, he did that to me. No, for situations like that, you went to the judges. You would go to the judges, they would hear this person's side, they would hear that person's side, and then they will judge. The shoterim, or the officers, came along and they would come in and they will look at what's going on in an area, and it was like an inspector, right? If it's some kind of violation, they write you up, hey, you gotta get this together, or you gotta close this up. If it was something going on like that, they aren't looking to say, oh, this person just killed this person, I'm gonna come and lock you up. So that's why I said I don't want us to get it confused and say police officers is not the same thing, right? During those days, if you took somebody out, You ain't had to worry about the boys coming to get you. You had to worry about their family coming to get you. Because somebody will rise up with the blood of the avenger on them. And they call this person the redeemer of the blood. And they will come to get you themselves. They will come to get you. And you knew and you had to flee. So it wasn't no, you sit there to wait for the police to lock me up, cop, and nothing. It was not like that at all. That's why I said I hate that they put that word police in front of it, because it gave a wrong connotation. It's not like that at all. Right? You got a chance to get it together. I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to get this situation together. But if you harming somebody or you doing this and that, the other to somebody, then that's going to go straight to the judges, and you got to go on a run. That's why I say, as soon as ever, you got to go on a run, because people had family and they was coming to get you. They wasn't coming to get you to talk to you. They wasn't going to wait for the police to lock you up. They was going to take you out of here like you did to their loved one. So you had to go to a city of refuge to be saved. So that's why I'm like, so it ain't like the police and you get pulled over for this and there's nothing like that. When they talking about these shotorim, these officers will come into your community and they will look to make sure there's nothing going on, and they will bring an investigation on you. And then if they do find there's some horrendous violations, then they will bring you before the judges so you can communicate whether or not you agree with them about the violations, and you either going to fix it or pay whatever penalty it is that you got to pay. But it's not no arresting powers. They come and say, I'm locking you up. Ain't no jail they putting you in. Those laws back then, they had different specific things that happened. Like, for one instance, if you got in trouble and you owed money, like you stole something, you owe money, you got found. They brought you before the judges. This person owed money. You got found guilty of stealing and owing money. You don't go to this magical place called jail and spend time there and the person never get their money back. You owe money. You got to find some kind of way to pay it. If you can't pay it, they're going to sell you. That's where slavery and all this stuff comes into play. When people and talking about the slaves getting whipped, it's not like this chattel slavery that was here in America. That's why I hate when people try to join it together and don't know what they're talking about. This was their system of how they worked everything out to balance everything. The person got to be repaired. You stole from them. They can't get told you got locked up and they just got to deal with you stole from them and they never get it back. You have to give it back. And sometimes you got to give extra for their pain and suffering that you put them through by stealing. Now, you stole because you didn't have no money to do nothing in the first place. So what happens? We got to sell you so somebody buys your debt. That's like you see debt. People call you up now trying to buy your debt. We want to know if you're going to pay this bill off. And there's some company you never heard of. They bought your debt from the company you owe, and they trying to get their money back. The same thing. Somebody come along, they got the finances. They pay your debt. Now you owe. So you got to work that debt out. It ain't they paid the debt and you like, thank you, and you go off somewhere. No, now you owe and you got to pay. Well, guess what? If it's somebody that's a criminal that don't want to pay, they might say, I ain't working. You know, make me work. Make me work. Then they put the whip on you. Then you say, oh, damn, I got to work so this guy can get his money back. Now, some people will be cherry and say, you know what? I owe. I'm going to go ahead and do this so he can get his money back because he paid my debt. Right? But that was a part of the system. So I'm trying to get you to see that it ain't like today with the po-po come and pull a gun on you and threaten you and kill you, so forth. It's not like that. Now, they might have had other people with them. If it was somebody that didn't want to come before the judges, they would grab you up and bring you there. But it wasn't they was beating you in your head with a club and stick and all this other stuff. Once you seen the crew came, you know you can't fight them. You say, all right, I can't fight y'all. I'm good. It's not like today. I want to keep saying it because They put their word in their police. It is not like that today. But again, there's a lot of stuff in this portion, a lot of different things in this portion. Also, as I said, it goes into kings, how a king should rule, how many wives a king can have. It breaks down all of this stuff for you. It goes into a lot of stuff in this portion, and I hope you guys will look into this portion and enjoy it, because that's the whole point of the Torah vitamin. It's not for me to teach everything, but for me to touch on a small thing. And after I touch on that small thing, to hope that it will ignite something in you to make you want to learn more. So I appreciate all you guys for being on here with me and for checking this out. Shout out to all my peoples from my congregation, of course, is watching. People from my old neighborhood, 29th Street, is watching. Shout out to you guys as well. And before I get out of here, I just want to let you hear our artist of the day, Ahdaiyah, praising Yah forever. So Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. Thank you guys for being here with me today. Hopefully y'all have a beautiful, beautiful Sabbath. And I appreciate all of y'all. And I will see you guys next week with our next Torah vitamin. Look forward to seeing you then. And again, if you want to connect with us at any time, it's right there in the chat. All right, so I will talk to you guys later. Shabbat Shalom. Shema Yisrael.